we usually just always have the mayor, but I always open it up to our council members who would like to read this. The proclamation for Fire Prevention Week. Okay, Councilman Baker, would you please? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right. City of Eastpointe Proclamation, Fire Prevention Week, October 9th through 15th, this year 2022. Whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are where people are at the greatest risk from fire. And whereas according to the National Fire Protection Association's most recent data, U.S. home fires resulted in 2,580 civilian deaths in 2020, and fire departments in the U.S. responded to 356,500 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in the event of a fire in which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half, and residents should be sure everyone in the home understands the sound of the alarms and knows how to respond. And whereas Eastpointe residents will make sure their smoke and carbon monoxide alarms meet the needs of all their family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. And whereas residents should listen for the sound of the smoke alarm, and when it sounds, respond by going outside immediately to the designated meeting place. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas the City of Eastpointe's Fire Department and Public Safety Department are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas the 2022 Fire Prevention Week theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, effectively serves to remind us that it is important to have a home fire escape plan. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the City Council of the City of Eastpointe, do hereby proclaim the week of October 9th through 15th of 2022 as Fire Prevention Week, with a theme of Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, and encourages all Eastpointe residents to be aware of their surroundings, look for places fire can start, listen for the sound of the smoke alarm, learn and practice home fire escape plans, and observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Proclaim this the 4th day of October, 2022.
Thank you, sir. We have our fire department right there in the corner. Would you give them a hand for all the hard work they do? Thank you for being essential and saving lives every day and putting your life on the line. We appreciate you. Did you all have anything to say at this time? We don't want to. Okay, thank you for your service. Have a blessed one. You don't have to leave. I'm just saying have a blessed one.
Do we present? This too?
Oh, yeah. Can you please? Did she sign? Yes, ma'am, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would y'all like to step up and we're going to present this to you? All of me and all of council. Y'all don't mind. Thank you again. And next is our roll call. Good evening. Call the roll, please, Mr. Gasson.
Good evening, Mayor
Our
and
city
Council.
manager, our assistant city manager. Thank you again, Ms. Holman.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Here.
Councilmember Lucido.
Here.
Councilmember Curley.
Here.
Mayor Owens.
Here.
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Thank you. Now, the approval of the agenda. Anyone would like to add or subtract from this agenda at this time?
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is the hearing of the public. At the hearing of the public, we ask everyone to be respectful. We have all ages listening, and you get 3 minutes. State your name if you feel comfortable in your residency or if you're a business owner. We welcome everyone at the hearing of the public at this time. To give you additional minutes, I don't start the timer when you say your name and and where you're from, just so you can because it's only a short amount of time. The first hearing of the public is now open, and also, again, you get a second. If you don't get to finish, you get a second time closer to the end to speak as well.
Karen Morajan, Eastpointe resident. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Can you all hear her
Councilman-
okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Councilman Harvey, it's great to see you. Congratulations
Thank you.
on your recent win. And to our council members, thank you so much for including our Constitutional Week at the last meeting. Our Constitution is extremely important to us. We've all seen that our democracy has been severely disrupted and left in tatters. We as residents of Eastpointe take the Constitution extremely seriously. We are doing everything in our power to make sure that our democracy remains. I appreciate council for abiding by the preamble and for conducting yourselves in gracious, professional manners, in respecting us, and your integrity is very much appreciated. With that, I understand we have a new animal control officer, so I'm hoping that we'll be successful in being able to retain the new ACO. Unfortunately, they just don't seem to last very long in Eastpointe. But I also understand it's an extremely difficult and challenging job because a lot of it, you're not dealing with, it's not just limited to lost cats and dogs. We're dealing with cruelty and neglect. And it is critical that anytime anybody sees an animal in distress, do not hesitate to call dispatch, to contact animal control. And even if animal control is still not on the clock, our police officers will respond and they'll, take the report. They'll obviously forward it to animal control. We are their voice. They don't have a voice. We need to speak up for them. We need to be diligent. We need to protect them from the cruelty of human beings. Because unfortunately, not everyone
30
is
seconds.
compassionate towards animals. So it's crucial we are vigilant and we protect the animals and also protect those who are vulnerable in our society, very much the elderly senior citizen neighbors. And thank you to the city manager and the building department for responding immediately to my elderly neighbor who required assistance.
Sorry, your time is
I
up at this
appreciate
time,
that.
ma'am.
Thank you.
But you get an additional 3 minutes closer to the end. Thank you for your comments and concerns. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, to the panel. My name is Larry Edwards, Eastpointe residents. I'm here to address something that's nothing that's new, something that's been addressed over the years. and that's in regard to start off with, is regarding Mott, the street, the avenue. Mott has been a major concern and problem well over 20 years, and it has been ignored. I've talked to residents, and some as many as 25 years, and probably others longer than that, have been aware of the issue as well and had concerns and what have you. And we're here this far now, and I'm almost 20 years myself, and still with the same situation and what have you. There has been here of lately, there have been several there have been several promises in regard to doing something in regard to Mott, and they have been broken. There have been, I've been lied to in regard to this situation as well, and here as of lately, vehicles have been broken into. A lot of activities have taken place in the neighborhood. When I refer to neighborhood, I'm speaking of Mott, Fairlane, and Eastland. The neighborhoods through various establishments, trucks have been broken into, property vandalized, and things stolen. There's not enough street lights within the courts. I just recently, out of all these years, not realizing that Eastland do have 2 street lights. One at the entrance of coming into Eastland, as well as one all the way at the end of Eastland. The street that I live on, which is Fairlane, we have one somewhat considered in the middle, but down towards the end where I'm at, there you can't see your hand in front of your face at night. And this has been addressed before, and it was taken lightly and made joke of more than anything, and how I took it and what have you. These things need to be addressed.
30 seconds, sir.
Okay, and it infuriates me to the petty crime that is happening in our backyards, and yet we are supposed to overlook it and how or what to do extreme to the extreme where what must a person do to feel safe. Many residents have upgraded their homes, security systems, purchased firearms, trying to protect their families
Your
and
time is up,
investments.
sir. But you get an additional 3 minutes
All right.
closer to the end, since you
All
didn't
right,
finish.
I will.
Okay, thank you for your comments and concerns. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mary Hall Rayford,
Good
East
evening.
Point. Beautiful day outside. I enjoyed it. But there's a word that says, the prayers of the righteous availeth much. And according to our faith, be it unto us. So, Councilman Curley, I'm really thankful. The prayers have been answered. And I know that we can move forward doing the things that we need to do for the betterment of the city. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Yes, ma'am. Good
Hi,
evening.
everyone. Cindy Federley, Eastpointe resident. I have a question about the ARPA funds. It was discussed at the last meeting that $1.6 million of the ARPA funds are in the 23 budget. I thought that there was going to be community input as to how we spent this $3.5 million, and I don't know how 1.6 million is already spent with no input from the residents. So I'm very confused. I find the budget very daunting. I did try to look through it. When it was happening, my son was getting married, so I didn't listen to any of the council meetings. I didn't attend any of the meetings about the budget. So I just kind of like that explained. And will we be able to have input on the other money that I'm assuming, have left? And that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Congratulations to your son as well.
It was fun.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Sherry. I'm from Collinson Street, Eastpointe. And there's a family here that came to visit Eastpointe from 1936, and they would like to meet you. Please stand. I shared it on the Eastpointe group. I don't know if we have some.
saw it.
Did you see? Well, this is the family. I don't want to take up any of your time, but they would love to get a picture with the council.
If y'all don't mind.
I don't have any complaints.
We might as well do it now.
Yeah. Oh, wow, what a treat today, what a treat. Are you guys leaving? Okay, well, you always welcome back home. This is your home, welcome back home. We always welcome you back home. God bless you. Make sure it's in East Detroit, not Eastpointe. The hearing of the public is still open. So please. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Be safe.
Hi, my name is Lori Novakoski. I've been a resident since 1995. And I just want to know that if there's a statute of limitation on a building, this is what I look at the end of my street for the last 6 years, hoping that they would sell it or do whatever.
I stopped the time if you want to, pass your, if you don't mind, so we can, or you want to give us the
I can
address.
give you the address. It's
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
17561.
Okay.
It's the old party store. It's on the corner of Tuscany, and it's right on Stevens.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
It's terrible. Every year it gets worse and worse, and I just wondered. My
Okay.
boss had,
I'm going to start your time back. Is that okay? Okay.
My old boss used to have old buildings like this, and he used to donate them before they were demolished. He would give them to the fire department, and they would use them for training. They would, do fire prevention. Maybe they should do something like that and then rip it down. This is ridiculous. It's the plight, it just looks terrible. And that's pretty much, but I did want to say one other thing too. My brother works or lives in Virginia, and he sent me the video of the Eastpointe City Council meeting. And I think that's pretty bad. I think if we focused on this a little bit more and tried to get along, maybe, you might get some things done. I was happy to see that we did get a animal control officer today. So hopefully, our animals will fare better than our residents. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your comments and concerns. And if you want to email us anything as well, or pictures, you're welcome to. Yes, sir.
Harvey Creech, resident of Eastpointe for a long time, 50 plus. Madam Mayor, excuse me, I'll say that one time. We all know you're the mayor, and I'll give you all due diligence that. Council, it's great that we're all here together. I've noticed that we don't have any minutes from the last council meeting. I mean, and yet we have on here regular minutes, special meeting minutes, regular minutes. I don't see any minutes period of the last council.
Right under that. Unfinished business.
Pardon me?
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
Yeah, just look a little further down.
Okay, I was just going to say under unfinished business, and right here it says
It's on
new business. It says zoning ordinance updates. As far as I know, I'm supposedly, I'm on the zoning board. This is the first time, I understand, I'm not on the computer, but this is the first time, which I thank the city for at least giving me the benefit of the doubt. Because we're supposed to have a meeting before the end of the year, again too, in case something new come up, our old minutes, and it just doesn't seem for some reason that some of the stuff is getting done. I shouldn't have to remind anybody what their job is. By now, with the council, with the officers, with the rest of the people that we have in our city, I understand that we're undergoing, that might be the understatement, that we are going through, not even regime, I don't know exactly what we're going through, but it seems that some of the residents have a tough time of getting heard. You know, exactly just like this lady right here. That store hasn't changed, it's been there. We're supposed to, as I said before, too, zoning officers and zoning ordinances. And they say, yeah, we've got all these cars out in the parking lot. I talked about this last time. I know each one of them have a different area, but we have a lot of cars, but I still see the city, it's in disarray. I don't know who's taking care of it or not anymore. And I say, on the appeals board, we don't seem to have any appeals brought in front of us. So the ordinance committee,
30 seconds, sir.
whoever the ordinance committee is or the rest of the stuff, I'm not going to say they're not doing their job. I just don't think their job is getting done. And I appreciate all the people and the rest of the stuff in here that come to see how this is going to operate. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? We missed you. Haven't seen you in a while, so I'm glad to see you here. Good evening.
Good evening. John DeHunt, longtime resident. I travel a lot for my job. I see a lot of different things, I see a lot of different people, and I am blessed to know all sorts of individuals. Young, old, black, white, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, gay, straight, you name it, I've met them all. Left thinking, right thinking. And as I drive these copious amount of hours, I have a lot of time to think. And I think I have figured it out. The Jewish faith has it right. And ironically, tonight is the start of Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur means the Day of Atonement. And that would be tomorrow, my birthday. So, that said, I don't think there's one person in this room that doesn't have something they can't atone for. And I think that
I'm not asking anyone to do it publicly, but internally, I think we all need to atone for something that we've done. So I think I might become Jewish, because they seem to get it right. They actually have a Day of Atonement. So just think about that the next time you are getting your back up about something, that maybe you got something to atone for. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you for your comment and your concern and ideas.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Susanna Word on Stricker in Eastpointe. Been there 35 years. You know, you try your best to bring things to people's attention in the city. I've made numerous trips to City Hall on complaints of abandoned motorhomes, people putting garbage out in front of the house before they're supposed to, putting concrete out there, putting fencing out there. And I know I'm right off of 8 Mile, you know, and it seems like 8 Mile gets the crappy end of the city. Okay, the only time you really see anybody out there is if you really raise a lot of sand, or you have to call the police. And I don't really want to call the police department for some stupid stuff, you know? I mean, you got a truck driver that's driving a tow truck up and down the street, hauling cars in and out, okay? And nobody says a word. But if you pull up in your driveway and you block a sidewalk, you get a ticket. You know, I mean, and I'm not saying anything bad about our police or fire department. God knows they've helped me out since I've been here. All right, but it seems like our focus is on other things than what we're doing. I refuse to pay taxes in the city if I have to live in Blight. And it shouldn't be up to me. We've got ordinance people out here that you being paid to ride around. If I can see it, why can't they see it? It's ridiculous. I've had people say, oh, well, we're going to call you back, Miss Wirt. Never hear from them, and I have to make another trip down here. I'm 71 years old. I don't need to have to go through this. You know, there's not one of you out here that can't get in a car once every other day, and as you're riding to your grocery store or to the mailbox or whatever, see the stuff going on, and nobody says anything. But if I do it, I'm the bad guy. And this is sickening. It's getting sickening, and it's getting out of hand.
30 seconds, ma'am.
Okay? I'm sorry I come up here ranting and raving. But like I said, all of you, I want all of you to take a trip on that end of the city. Take a trip. In fact, go to the house that sits right on the corner of Stricker and Crusade and see what they've done to that with no permit being pulled. And I turned it in. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments and concerns. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? How you doing, sir?
Fine. How you doing? Derek Harper, resident Eastpointe. I spoke about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, about some tickets that you claim was a sting here on 9 Mile. Well, it claimed it was an Eastpointe sting, but there was not one on 10 Mile in Gratiot. There was not one on 8 Mile in Gratiot, not one on 8 in Kelly, 9 in Kelly, 10 in Kelly. So how do you get 10 people, you give them tickets for jaywalking? I never heard of that. Never heard of jaywalking tickets. But you're only stereotyping everybody at the bus stop. So there haven't been no more stings, so how could that be? So now, after 2 years, I just found out they got a warrant for my arrest for a jaywalking ticket. Unheard of. Unheard of. I asked you about it. You says, oh, well, I looked into it, and I never heard anything else. I called your office a couple times, never got through. When it says to leave a message, boop, it's out. It's nothing. So what can we do to alleviate this? Are we just stuck with these tickets? Because to me, it seems like it's profiling, because you only doing these people here at 9 Mile and Gratiot. What can we do about it? Anything? Because I think it's kind of messed up myself, because if it's a sting, it should be Eastpointe wide, not just 9 Mile. So I guess what, I'm just stuck with a $400 ticket?
We don't respond to the end of the meeting, so we don't disrupt what you have to say. So we're taking notes right now, Mr. Harper.
Okay.
And so if you want to email the city manager and attach myself and council to your concerns, we always respond. And when people send me emails, I always direct it to those that are in leadership or the director of that department. So if you have water problems, I always give it to our director of that department, or police or anything like that. So I give it to the chief so they can handle those things, because they have more of experience than me in those areas. So I give it to those people.
So who would I speak to? Because right now they're telling me I got a warrant for a jaywalking ticket. I want to resolve this. I mean, I don't do that. Never heard of it. If it's a sting, it should be wide, everywhere, not just right there. That's stereotyping. That's profiling.
I haven't started back your timing, but to add to that, we always have our deputy chief here, or our chief, always sitting here, and you're welcome at the end of the meeting to give him your information, and he can look that up. So anytime we have issues, we have our directors that take time out to be at these meetings, and you rarely see that at any other meeting in any other city, to take time out after the meeting to talk to you for your concerns.
I did that before. That's not the same guy that was here before, but I'm okay. It's all right.
You still have more time, Mr. Harper, if you would like. Okay. And if you don't mind, hopefully you stay, and if you want to leave your name and your number with us, and we can speak to you after the meeting too. Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Anyone else? If not, you do have time to speak at the hearing of the public closer to the end. The first hearing of the public is now closed. Thank you, everyone that took a part of that. We're going to the approval of the minutes, council.
Madam Mayor, I would move to receive and file the minutes from the regular meeting of August 16th, 2022.
Second that?
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
I'll abstain. I was absent from that meeting.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, I would move to receive and file the special minute meetings from August 19th, 2022.
Second?
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
I'll abstain. I was not at that one either.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
And Madam Mayor, I would move to receive and file the minutes of the regular meeting of September 28th, 2022.
Yeah, the 20th. I'll second that.
20th.
We have motion and support, please call the roll.
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
I want to abstain, I wasn't there that day. Thank you, ma'am. Moving right along to scheduled hearings, we have none. We're going to go right into unfinished business with the regular meeting minutes for September 6, 2022. Council?
Madam Mayor, I motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of September 6, 2022.
Second that?
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
No.
Councilmember Baker.
No.
Moving right along to reports from administration, starting with our city manager. Good evening, Ms. Walton.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to first start, Ms. Federley. Their council did have a public hearing for the ARPA funds this summer. I'm not sure of the specific date, but if you have specific questions or at any time want to go over the budget, you're more than welcome to get in touch with us and we can answer those questions for you. Also, we have Ms. Underwood in the back, our deputy city clerk, so I'd like to highlight the clerk's office, who's been working very diligently to prepare for the November election. We are on our way to certify election inspectors, so we're kind of at the last finish line. If you'd like to be an election inspector or a substitute, please see Miss Underwood tonight. Touch base with her, or if you're available, stop into City Hall, and she can certainly give you the rundown on being an inspector and information on trainings. They're also sending out absentee ballots. They sent out a significant amount this week and are continuing to send those out. So it's a reminder to register to vote. You can register here, online, and there are resources on our webpage if you have questions about it. Next up is our Clean City Initiative. Since May, we've been putting together 2 initiatives a month to clean the city. We have been working in the 8 Mile and Gratiot area. I know that was mentioned as a concern. We've done that several times this summer. October is actually our last month for the year. So Thursday, October 13th at noon, and then Saturday, October 22nd at 10 a.m. That's a Thursday and a Saturday. We encourage you to come out and help us. That information is on our website, and we always meet at DPW. If you have questions, please reach out, and we can certainly give you that information. The Eastpointe Rotary Club has a community meal coming up at Emmanuel Methodist Church here on Gratiot. That's October 12th at 5 p.m. We do have board and commissioner openings, so if you're interested and available, please fill out an application and submit that to the city manager's office. If you have questions about a specific board or commission, please reach out. We can certainly answer those questions. We have information on our website. We can answer them here at City Hall, or you're welcome to shoot us an email, or any of mayor or council can certainly answer those as well. Water meter upgrades are mandatory. We've been working on that for several months as well. If you haven't updated your water meter, please get in touch with DPW right away, and they'll get you scheduled for that meter change out. We do have a medical marijuana hearing for scoring. That is October 19th at 1 p.m. here in council chambers. Again, that is for scoring for the medical marijuana facilities, October 19 at 1 p.m. With that, Mayor and Council, I can certainly answer any questions you have.
Thank you so much. Questions, council? Seeing none, good work, Ms. Walton. Moving right along to the finance director's report. Mr. Blum, good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The only thing I have is just an update. The auditors have been here a little over a week now. It is progressing smoothly as usual, but it's been all-consuming, so I have nothing else.
Any questions for our director, finance? Anyone? Good job, Mr. Blum. Moving right along to our city attorney. We don't have Mr. Albright here today, but we have our overseer. You said what now? Mr. Erie, because I know you have 2 names. So Mr. Erie, who's been doing work for the city for a numerous amount of years. So thank you for the work. You have the floor. Mr. Erie, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people out there can't hear you. Is it on?
Sorry, I didn't turn that on.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I believe that everybody got a copy of his monthly status report on Saturday. So with that, I have nothing else.
Thank you, Mr. Erie. Any questions for our attorney this time? Thank you so much for all the good work you've done over the years. We're going to go right into new business. Item A, the approval of recommendation of the Planning Commission to approve the special land use for the property located at 18301 9 Mile Road. Council?
Madam Mayor, I'll motion we adopt the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve the special land use for the property located at 18301 9 Mile Road.
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
just really
ma'am.
quick, I just want to congratulate Ms. Eastley. That's all I have.
Thank you. You have motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes, congratulations, Ms. Easley. Next item is item B, adoption of a resolution number 22-1947, City Council 2023 meeting dates. Council?
Madam Mayor, I would move that we adopt resolution number 22-1947, establishing the 2023 regular meeting schedule for the City Council pursuant to Section 5 of the Michigan Open Acts Public Act 267 of 1976.
I'll second.
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
One quick item, or I guess two quick items.
Okay.
The April 18th meeting, if everyone would be okay with moving that to the 25th in case anybody wants to attend MML's Capital Conference, because that'll be the 18th and 19th. So we've usually moved those meetings. So if we can move that. And then just for the November 13th meeting, I know many years ago, since it's a Monday meeting and it coincides with a school board meeting, or actually they're not meeting here anymore, are they? Yeah, they are. Yes, okay. If it's on the same, it'll be on the same day. So let's just make sure we coordinate that then. So if that amendment is okay with everybody for the April date.
Council, with those changes recommended by Councilman DeMonico.
It's fine.
Okay. You need a motion on that, or, okay. Yes, motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yeah. Oh,
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Next item, item C, approval of purchase for the heavy equipment trailer.
Madam Mayor, I motion to waive the bidding requirements due to availability and authorize the purchase of a heavy equipment PJ trailer from DR Trailer Sales, Inc. of Milan, Michigan, for the amount of $20,197.
Second.
Motion second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
The next item is the approval of a special event, the first book giveaway on October 8, 2022. Council?
Madam Mayor, I would move to approve the book giveaway schedule for Saturday, October 8th, 2022 at 10:30 a.m.
Support.
Motion and support, I think she got you beat, Councilman.
She got it. She got it.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. Item E, approval of special event trunk and treat on October 23rd, 2022. Council?
Madam Mayor.
This is the race tonight, we think, between you guys. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Before we begin, I did have, so, in the month of October, there's a lot of different organizations that like to do trunk or treats. And I was just wondering how the rest of council would feel if they're not putting up any tents, because I know tents would have to be inspected by our fire department, and if they're not going to be serving any food, that it was necessary, I guess, for them to do an event application if it's on their property. Because, it seems like we're charging them for these event applications to host these trunk or treats, and they're not, the city's not even really doing anything for most part if they're just having cars parked there and pass out candy. So I was just wondering kind of about that.
Council, any
What,
comments?
you want to put that in the motion, or you want to just, remember, we don't meet for another 2 weeks, so
Well, I guess,
if you can put in the...
they already paid for their special event application, but I'm assuming that there might be more organizations in the city that want to host trunk or treats this year already. So I guess my question is, are we requiring all of them to do special event applications?
I don't know, why don't we ask administration that question?
Yeah, because we've been doing this for a long time in the past.
I'm not aware of any other events that are happening, but it would be up to council if, whatever you guys set in place. And if this is something that you didn't, then we could always, based on your motion, refund the application fee to the applicant and then move forward with that recommendation from council.
What part of this event required them to do the special event application?
I believe they just submitted. So they just came in, submitted the application, and then it went to review.
So if they came and just would have asked first, you maybe would have suggested they might not be necessary?
Yes, if I ask questions specific to the event, if there's going to be any tents, any cooking, as Councilmember Lucido said, that it wouldn't have met the regulation of filling out an event app based on the ordinance.
I think filling out an event app for any location in the city lets our public safety know what's going on, so they can be aware of what is going on in the city. Were you going to say something, Mr.?
I was just going to
Gary?
suggest that if the city wishes to not require an approval from the city for such an event because there are no inspections that will be required from the fire department, I think that that's fine. But even if any approval of the city is required of any kind, I still think that event promoter should sign the hold harmless agreement for the city, to the city, especially for things like Halloween. You never know, you get a bad piece of candy or something. And if the city approved it, then the city would expose itself to liability. If we don't have to approve it, then I think that we don't need to have that hold harmless. But if we do need to approve it, and that's what council decides, then we should at least have the hold harmless.
Yeah, she signed that.
Yeah. So people that have done this in the past, you don't think people are going to say something about, because we've been charging people for doing this. I don't know, council, is this the first one we got like this? I think we probably did this in the past for other organizations. I just want to make sure
I don't know
are
if
doing
we've
it across
ever
the board the right
approved
way.
a trunk or treat before in the city. I know that
Okay.
they've had trunk or treats in the city, but I don't know if they've ever come to us before for council approval.
Okay.
Um,
So just trunk or treats, just these events only?
Yeah,
You want to be
because-
careful on what
Right.
events that we're.
Trunk or treats, and
yeah.
as long as they're not putting up a tent or selling or serving food, because if they are, then we have to, as long as they don't need any of the requirements on here.
Right. I'm just saying, when we know what events are going on in the city, it lets us be aware, because then people might not put that they're going to do those things just to bypass filling out this application, and then they end up doing it, and then something happens. And then, so I just don't want to start something and then people misuse it.
Right, I'm just, like I said, my biggest concern is, they filled out the application and they paid, but I believe that there's other places in the city that have had trunk or treats in the past who have not submitted applications. So they're paying
Right.
for an application, and that's out of their pocket. I
Right.
appreciate that they are, that they are coming forward, but I just don't know if, like I said, I know there's been other ones in the city who haven't necessarily filled out, because they're not putting up tents or anything, so.
Well, maybe we can waive the fee, but still approve the special event, because I think with the trunk or treats, maybe we don't have to charge them. But I think it still should be something in writing that people are doing things in the city, so we can be aware of that.
Okay. No, that's fine, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I was more of the charge than.
Right, so what do you, council,
So-
think about waiving the fee? I'm sorry,
So-
Councilwoman.
Yeah, I guess maybe I could make a motion to approve the trunk or treat event scheduled for Sunday, October 23rd, 2022 at 2 p.m. and refund K. Mateus Insurance Company their application fee, and then also authorize city administration the right to waive the application fees if there's no department head, oversight needed for the event.
Okay, I'll support that.
Motion and support, council, you have anything else to add to this?
No, just keep in mind, there's probably about 10,500 houses that will be doing the same thing on Halloween, passing out candy, and I don't plan on having a tent.
We have motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes?
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Next item is the approval of a special event for Taco Mania on October 15th and 16th, 2022.
Madam Mayor, I motion to approve the Taco Mania special event scheduled for Saturday, October 15th, and Sunday, October 16th, 2022, from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. each day.
I'll second.
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes?
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
No.
Next item, item G, approval of special event Fun Fest Fridays at Dedicated Senior Medical Center. Council?
Madam Mayor, I motion to approve the Fun Fest Friday special event application from Dedicated Senior Medical Center event scheduled for Friday afternoons from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. starting October 7th, 2022 until December 9th, 2022.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes?
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Now, we have all these events in the city of Eastpointe. I hope everyone is noting these dates down so we can support these events that are positive and moving the city forward. And those that are running these events, thank you for doing that in the city. Item H, zoning ordinance update.
Madam Mayor, I motion to receive and file progress memo number 5 for the zoning ordinance update.
A second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Next item is discussion on social media policy. This was put on the agenda by our councilman, Councilman DeMonico. I'll let you have the floor, Councilman.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I put this on the agenda because I think we should review what we passed back in 2019. I think some of it is not consistent with the First Amendment or is contrary to it. I'm not going to go through it all right now. It's in the packet that's online. I know, a lot of you don't have it in front of you out in the audience. But I think we should see about updating it. Some of it, like I said, is just, I think, should not be in here. Also, I think, looking at some other policies from some of the other cities, they have maybe a clause about just a generic opening statement about just speaking at hearing the public or speaking just at a separate public hearing for a certain thing, just kind of like a respect or dignity clause we could add. This one's pretty the one we passed back in 2019 is kind of just boring's the right word. Need a little opener to it or something like that kind of thing. There's a couple purpose lines here, but I think we could, add a little bit to it. And then I think we need to talk about a couple more specific things also on Facebook. We've deleted some posts, and there's some hidden comments on our Facebook page. And I think we need to talk about when or how that should work, because sometimes it's definitely necessary, if it is, some of the things from our policy, like hate language or something, like that, we definitely should remove that, if it does break the First Amendment. But I think we need to come up with something kind of more rigid that we could go by, and have it in writing. And let's see, I think we should have 2 city administrators, 2 on each of the board and commission pages. Back when we did this in 2019, we kind of talked about this part, but we didn't talk about internals at all. Some of the board and commission pages, actually if you try searching City of Eastpointe's Beautification Commission, you'll end up finding 3 different pages. We don't really have a, what's the word I'm looking for, a continuity kind of. Some of these were 10 years ago when Facebook was, super new and things like that. But I think we should do that so that, not necessarily that city admin's going to post on the page, but just in case, the members of our commission, get rid of Facebook or something like that, we can still continue it to the new members of the commission. And then also, we could, I guess, in certain circumstances, if we do something on Nixle, maybe we can post it across all of the commission pages, including the city's page, or police and fire's got a page, library's got a page, that sort of thing. And of course, we're into Instagram now too, so I think we need to make this vague enough for any social media, not just Facebook, which was probably many years ago when some of the other cities' policies I looked up, I think basically they were just around Facebook because it was probably the only thing really used at the time. I know this is a lot. Not decide on anything right now, but just some things that I think we should consider and potentially modify this. I guess that's where I'd like to start there, those ideas. I don't know if, others were interested, but I think, I highlighted some things that I think shouldn't be in our policy. It's quite a bit. So maybe we can, ask our attorney to take a look and see what he thinks. We also looked at those, the Facebook settings that we have set right now for certain, words, if they show up, the comments hidden, that sort of thing.
So yeah, I think I would be fine with having the city attorney review and update our city social media bylaws or policies.
I think that's an excellent idea. Turn it into the attorney and have him come back with some suggestions. Good idea.
So, Mr. Erie, I'm about to say Mr. Albright. So I don't think we do need to do a motion in support on that, do we?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I guess I was just saying that because anytime, because once you look through this, we're paying you. So just making sure we motion in support to pay you to do this, because just letting the residents know that anytime you do look over things, any little thing that we're getting charged. So,
What with the mayor's permission, what we may end up recommending would be the establishment of a committee of some type to look at this as well. Social media policies are really all over the map on different cities, and we could make a recommendation, but the recommendation might be too limiting, or it might be too broad. And again, it's just our opinion of what it ought to be, because from a legality viewpoint, social media policies can be legal if they're very restrictive, and they can be legal if they're less restrictive. Are we going to allow words that are foul on the social media policy that perhaps we would not even allow here at the hearing of the public? So what we will probably do is submit more than one for council to consider and identify them as perhaps more restrictive and less restrictive for council to consider.
right. And we appreciate that, because I think some of the things in here kind of covers what need not to be on a social media site, especially as a government agency, And so to protect our image and who we are as a city, we don't want those comments to reflect who we are, and we work so hard to become who we are today. So we don't want certain things, even though we want to make sure that people have their First Amendment rights to speak. We want to make sure that it's respectful of all people, backgrounds, and things like that. Anyone else would like to speak on this before we go to the next? Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I guess too, it has to be considered as the policies that we set, I don't believe can supersede whatever Facebook has in place. So I think that has to be considered as well. I'm willing, I don't know, I want to do some more digging into that myself too, and try to find out, ask a few more questions and find out how far or how in-depth this research has already gone. Like, has this already been looked at legally or from a legal aspect? And how this all works out. So I'm curious about that.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Thank you, Mr. Erie. Next item, item J, discussion of plans for a tree lighting ceremony. This will be fun. Council?
Madam Mayor, undoubtedly, the tree lighting ceremony is a highlight every year for our city, and we encourage and invite as many people out to it, particularly the young kids. However, I really think the administration ought to take this and run with it. And I think that was on the agenda because I think the administration really wasn't sure what to do with it, so they put it on there to see what our feelings were. But my feeling is that let the administration run with it, give us a date and time and what's going to be on there, and I'm sure that if any council member would like to give them a suggestion, that would be fine. But giving it to the council, you can only have two of us on the committee, on a subcommittee, so who is it going to be? Rob and I, or Sarah and the mayor, or Cardi and Sarah? So I just think it would be a better fit if the administration handled this.
I'd support that motion.
I think I was on.
Wait, it can't be a motion because Sarah didn't do it.
I think At the last tree lighting ceremony, I believe I was on that committee. And who else was on it?
No.
I don't recall.
I don't remember.
It was just me.
I don't remember having a committee, so-
Well, yeah. Well, we had due to COVID, a lot of things has changed throughout the country. And so we were very safe last year, and we did a drive-through, which was really a good idea. And we had a violinist, we had singers and things like that. Me and all the council, we passed out bags, and it was really nice. But it didn't supersede the tradition of Eastpointe, what we've been doing for years, being out and doing the Christmas tree lighting. And I think we should bring that tradition back, especially that the COVID numbers have come down, and I believe it brought a lot of us together. So that was my suggestion as well. And, and we get the suggestion, like Councilman Curley said, some ideas to administration, what you would like to see.
Yeah.
And then at the next meeting, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was always happy with the ones Rare put on, so, I mean, they could take ideas that they used to do and maybe just implement it, come up with something.
Right.
Do you want a motion or should it be a consensus?
We can do a consensus.
Okay.
I had
Everybody?
a couple
Oh, go ahead,
questions,
sir.
though, maybe.
Okay.
Mayor, who put this on the agenda, I guess?
Administration.
Oh, okay. So why, yeah, because in the past, Rare has done the event. Is Rare not, why is Rare not doing the event anymore?
So
If they
Councilmember
are not-
Councilmember Lucido mentioned that prior to the meeting. I touched base with the director. If it's going to be a city event, their position is that the city should plan it, and they're more than welcome or interested in helping us as they did last year. But Roseville is planning theirs, they're assisting them, and then Eastpointe would plan theirs, and they'll assist us as well.
So did we not want to do that? I thought last year, I guess maybe I forgot a detail or two, but I thought last year we just talked about it because COVID, and we just wanted to make sure we were doing it safely, and I thought that's why we discussed it. I guess, so if we're going to talk about it at all, I guess they kind of want us to just do the whole thing, or else then they just do the whole thing? Is that what you're saying?
No, the city would still be doing it. I placed it on the agenda just to get the perspective of council and what the interest was. We still do transition from high to medium risk, and so I wanted to understand council's interest in still doing it, possibly the traditional way, or if we wanted to go the safe route and do what we did last year. So just gaining your perspective to move forward with planning. If you did want to move forward with a committee, we could certainly, if council wanted to motion to do that, but Rare is not planning the event. Their position is that if it's going to be a city event, as it has been, that the city should plan it, but they will help us.
Any other thoughts, Councilman?
Subcommittee's fine with me.
Okay, so that means you're gonna.
I didn't say I was volunteering.
Well, are we back to, wait a minute.
I'm fine with, well, I think Mr. Curley already made a motion.
I'll make we don't need a subcommittee from the council. We already talked about that. I'll make the motion that the administration plan the Christmas tree lighting event. And if we want to put in suggestions, we can. And if they,
All right, I'll
Second.
support it. Oh, there you go.
Mr. Baker, okay.
Oh, you got it.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley?
yes?
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Next item is payroll and bills, council.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to pay the bills in the amount of $15,708,045.98.
Support.
Second.
Y'all are really ready to go home right now. We have motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Curley?
Yes.
Mayor Owens?
Yes.
Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
The next item is the hearing of the public. We have two. Just want to repeat that again. So if you didn't get to finish speaking in the beginning, you can close it out with this second hearing of the public if you would like to. The second hearing of the public is now open. I don't start the time until you say your name, so that it gives you extra time to speak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. Again, my name is Larry Edwards, Eastpointe residence. I believe I left off at where the city needs to comply with the ordinance of putting in place that's relating to the music that sometimes is heard several blocks away, that need to be enforced and ticketed those that aren't complying to the upkeep of the properties. It's gotten way out of hand with the car speedings through the residence. Many people are complaining about it in residential areas, and it infuriates me to see that where the music is ongoing and nobody's doing anything about it. I mean, as if we don't even have any ordinance, if we don't have any people to even address it and what have you. At the very least, we, the residents and citizens of Mott Eastland Court, Fairlanes Court, has been disrespected as taxpayers by the city of Eastpointe and those that representing us as elected officials. It's gone. It's going to be hard for you to convince me that those that have voted for councils and determined that determine that everything that goes through for our residential stead, without the public or the citizens having some input or say to the point of our neighborhoods. Upon just 5 people's votes and everything, and it's not addressed to us as in our neighborhoods and everything. I just can't believe that and what have you, that you have that much power. And I want to speak in regard to the city council, Ms. Mariah Walton and everything. I'm hoping that you will help us, that you will look into this here and help us out. I believe and have looked upon you as being smart, sharp, and intelligent. You know how to conduct yourself and carry yourself as a young person, and don't let, and I would just personally say, don't let politics corrupt you and power give you the big head, and but always do the right thing.
You have 30 seconds left.
Not having incentive to live residents at Eastpointe. I guess that'll be it for now. I'll take it up the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Harvey Creech, resident of Eastpointe. As I sat there and listened to the people of this city, please pay attention to them. You know, I mean, you can understand this frustration that we all go through. And, excuse me for saying this, Mariah, Kim, you know, the last time I was in here, I talked to you and said, we're having all these meetings to discuss all these ordinances, and we're going to have new ordinances. When is the public supposed to see them? When are you going to address these? Like that was fine. The city council says they passed it. What did you pass? This is no offense to you, but if the residents don't even know what's going on, we're in trouble. And there again, too, as I said, excuse me for saying this, the last time I said about in the Zoning Board of Appeals, I asked this, who's on it? If we don't need it, like I said, we're supposed to have a meeting coming up right now. If the year is totally passed, there's supposed to be a meeting called to discuss last year's anything that went on. Well, apparently nothing went on because they took all the power, they took all the power away from the zoning board. So who's making all these decisions now? And where are they at? And who's enforcing them? These people up here, they ask these questions in their, well, I mean, that's the same thing about me. As I said, it doesn't matter if I drive up and down the street and I come in and give you an address and 6 months later it still looks the same. Does it take the city through the progress that we're supposed to be in more than 3 months to take care of something? Apparently it does. Because, you know, we got to put this after this, and this has got to be done, and this has got to be done, and then this has got to be done. It never gets done. That's maybe the problem. If it got done, all these people wouldn't be out here asking the same question. You know, I didn't come to the meetings and everything because I know I get sometimes a little bit irate, but I'm concerned.
30 seconds, sir.
Okay, so some of you people have the time in and the rest of the stuff, and we have talked, and we're probably going to talk some more, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Creech.
John D. Hunt, Eastpointe resident. 3 final things. It's the first time I got to see Ms. Walton in action. You are like a howitzer. Boom. Love it. Don't be mean to her. She's doing a great job. That's the first thing. Second thing is I concur with Mr. Edwards. The city is dirty. People have no respect. Streets are filthy. One day the people put up the signs about the street sweeper coming through, not to park there. People park there. There's just trash everywhere. I was gone for a week. I come back. There's garbage all over my streets. It shouldn't be up to us having to clean it every day because other people disrespect their neighborhood. So I'm in complete agreement with Mr. Edwards and the other lady on 8 Mile. The city's dirty. And I don't know how you get people to change bad habits because people just don't care. And maybe the way you make them care is with a fine. I don't know. In respect to the ordinances and things like that, on behalf of the Planning Commission, I invite every one of you to come to our meeting on the first Thursday of every month. We talk about ordinances, we talk about 9 Mile, we talk about development on Kelly, we talk about all sorts of things. You are all invited every first Thursday of the month. We have open hearings, nobody comes. The only time somebody comes to the meeting is when they have something to gripe about, or if they're putting something before during the public of the hearing, or hearing of the public, or whatever we do to address special land uses, things like that. You are all invited. There are notices put out when public hearings are done. If you do not come to the meeting and if you do not partake of it, don't bitch. You have a voice. Be heard.
Thank you.
Mary Hall Rayford, Eastpointe. We've heard a lot of gripes about what's going on with elected officials, and I just want to point out one very important thing. Anyone who is eligible to vote and cares about the position or platform that someone has, we need to vet the candidates. It is our responsibility to do the research, find out who they are, what they believe, and if their values align with ours. No one's going to do that for us. We have to do it. And if we're not going to do it, then we might as well be quiet and deal with whatever the fallout is. This is important. Someone mentioned earlier that democracy is at risk, and it is. And it's at risk because people don't care enough to get involved. So I urge you, get involved, get engaged, and vet every candidate. Know who they are, what their background is, and whether or not their values align with your own. That is our responsibility, and we need to take it seriously. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak at this time?
Hello. Hi, my name is Deonda Easley. I'm an Eastpointe resident and owner of Epic Entertainment Team. And now, thanks to you all tonight, I'm the proud owner of Epic Meeting Space, a business that's coming on 9 Mile very soon. So thank you. I do have one concern, and that's if I could possibly meet with Mrs. Walton in regards to the fees that I was charged to open my business. What I haven't stated to you all is This is the first of many businesses I plan on bringing to the city. So I want it to be a really good and successful experience. I received 3 receipts in regards to the $3,000 that I put down on, that I paid to the building department regarding my business. And I'm really disappointed at the way that this has been handled. To be charged $500 for a meeting fee, another $1,000 for a special use meeting, which, again, I know we can talk personally, but these are issues to me because I want to go into this with the attitude to know that city employees are supporting businesses that are coming to the city and not taking from them. So if we could meet, I would address this with you personally. I wanted to put it on record, though. I am not satisfied with the handling of my money. I'm coming to this city to bring a positive business, one of many businesses, and I just want to be treated fair. So at any given time you can meet, I am available. Thank you all again. I don't want to sound like I'm being fussy, but this is important to me. So thank you all again for approving me. I'm excited. I know I'm not showing it, I'm tired, but I'm really, really excited to be bringing my business to the city. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Easley. And congratulations on your new business in the city of Eastpointe. Anyone else would like to speak at this time?
Good evening, Clifton Hall, Eastpointe resident. And I thank you for putting the signs down that tomorrow they would clean the streets. It was a big help. I ran across it. And the eastbound traffic going across Gratiot, Hayes, it's ridiculous. It's got the light blocked, Hayes, quite often. I understand you say you have to get with the county. The county put them signs up that no turn. And the U-turns, you can't do nothing about. They've been here for a long time. But you can't go south on Hayes a lot because the cars eastbound on Gratiot, it's got it blocked. And they got a sign, you can't go through until a light is green. Somebody should be able to get with the county to come out to keep that where it isn't congested like that, missing light, 2 lights. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Anyone else?
Karen Morajan, Eastpointe resident. So, continuing on with the animals, we have to do better by them as a community. They literally do not have a voice. We have to be their voice. There's so much cruelty and neglect going on. It is astounding and outrageously disturbing. Unfortunately, we're still operating under an antiquated anti-cruelty statute that is in such desperate, dire need of being completely overhauled. We even have judges today hearing cases and saying, I'm sorry, I don't see this animal being property that is the same as a table, a desk, a chair. These are sentient beings. They definitely feel pain. For those who have dogs that are treated as family members, you know how happy they are to see you when you come home. And every time you return from wherever you went, whether it was work or errands, they act like they haven't seen you in forever. They're so happy to see you. They ask for so little from us, you know, and we simply must do better by them. We have to keep them protected. There's people out there stealing cats and dogs out of people's backyards. They're being sold to Class B dealers and subjected to just heinous sickening medical research tests or cosmetic testing. And it is so appalling. If you had to bear witness to that, you would just be in tears. It is horrible what we do to animals for what? Convenience, for cosmetics, for household product use, for fashion, for food. There's no excuse for this. They don't have a voice. And the prey animals, they hide their pain. They hide their fear. They hide their
30
stress.
seconds, ma'am.
And we can't use them as entertainment. And unfortunately, they're constantly being exploited. And that's one of the reasons why I was so adamant and so outspoken about the petting zoos, because those animals go to slaughter when they're no longer these cute little babies. So I hope Eastpointe never, ever supports any more of these petting zoos or using animals in any form of entertainment here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Anyone else want to make sure everyone gets a chance to speak? Seeing none, second hearing of the public is now closed. Thank you, everyone, for giving us their opinions, ideas, to help us better serve you in this community. Thank you so much. Now we are at the part of my favorite, closing time. We're at Mayor and Council reports. We're going to start with Councilman Baker.
Thank you, Mayor. Just in regards to the zoning ordinance, it was a receive and file. There was a steering committee that was created some months ago that meet, and they're looking at different zoning ordinances and things and trying to just make them make sense, bring them up to date where they should be. So tonight was just a receive and file, but this was publicly done, and I believe that there was all, the proper protocol was followed as far as giving notice as to when those meetings were. Also, in regards to the gentleman who spoke of the jaywalking ticket, if we can, I would be glad to stand with you and have a conversation with our deputy chief to see if we can get some understanding about, what's going on or what happened, just to get some clarity. They always have an open door policy to talk, and anytime I have questions about anything, they always welcome me in to talk and have those conversations. And lastly, to my friend here in the front, he always tells me I have to give this word of the day. So he said I've been slacking on my word of the day. So it's an old one, but it's I think a good one. It's inexhaustible. Simple word. It's a supply unable to be used up because it exists in abundance. So when it comes to our kindness, our love, respect, charity, and civility, they should all be an inexhaustible supply.
Thank you. Councilman Curley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have, I guess you can call them plaques that I brought tonight. I look at these every day, and it's one of the things that help me get by the day. So let me read them to you. May your heart be kind, may your mind be fierce, and your spirit be brave. And the other one, think deeply, speak gently, love much, laugh a lot, work hard, give freely, and be kind. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman DeMonico.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. At our last meeting, the Daughters of the American Revolution gave us a thank you for doing the Constitution Week proclamation, so I just want to read it real quick. Thank you for issuing a proclamation recognizing Constitution Week, September 17th through 23rd. Our chapter wishes that all community residents will take time to read our Constitution and to take some time to reflect on the document as it is the basis of American heritage and foundation for our way of life. It is our duty as citizens to protect, defend, and preserve our American Constitution. And Ms. Hess from the group wrote that. Also wanted to, and I know Ms. Lucido said this last meeting, congratulate Kimmy Rich on her retirement from the clerk's office. And I'd like to welcome a whole bunch of new people, Officer Kyrie Roberts, firefighter, paramedic Nicholas Waldrop, and as has already been mentioned today, our new animal control officer, Val Charleston. The American Rescue Plan funds, Ms. Federley mentioned, we did have one public hearing at a council meeting before we had that vote, whatever meeting that was, last meeting or the meeting before. And yeah, I've tried to get feedback from people as much as possible. It's a little confusing, I think, about the numbers, because yeah, it's 3.3 million altogether, but we've gotten portions of it at various times, and I think that's why the 1.6 million was mentioned. I don't know if, Mr. Blum, if I'm saying anything silly, just shake your head at me or something. But that's why I'd be happy to talk to you about that again sometime. Yeah, I guess that's about it on that. The Eastpointe Rotary did their Harvest Wine and Beer tasting the other day. That was great. Looks like they raised a lot of money for charity. And if anyone's free this weekend, head to Mount Clemens. Macomb County Pride is doing their festival. It'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just go to MacombCountyPride.com or just search it, and you'll find all the different activities. There'll be a carnival out there, so if you know any kids or anything, bring them out there this weekend. And then also this Thursday is our Salute to Excellence, and I just wanted to real quickly just congratulate the winners. It's no surprise they already put this online, so I'm not like breaking the news or anything, but we will be recognizing them on Thursday. And I think the Chamber still has tickets, so if anyone's interested, look up the Chamber of Commerce or contact me, and I think they still have tickets, maybe, I don't know. Eastpointe Firefighter of the Year is Matthew Sarr. Police Officer of the Year, Detective Ian Reinhold. Citizen of the Year, Frank Martinick, who's one of our employees, Monica's father. Kayla Roberson's the Student of the Year. Dominic Miller, Youth of the Year. Mr. Curley's very familiar with Dominic, as he was also featured for the Gratiot Cruise this year. Dedicated Senior Medical Center is Business of the Year. Eastpointe Community Schools, Capital Improvement Award, and Emmanuel United Methodist Church Pioneer Award. And then a whole bunch of You Made a Difference awards. Michigan Military Technical and Historical Society, or as most people call it, the Military Museum. Melvena Fant Jones, DeLorean Ishman, all three of them are You Made a Difference. And then they do a Eastpointe Roseville You've Made a Difference, also J. Cola Hair Salon, Michelle Liss, and Anton Art Center. And then for the Educator Awards, Elementary's Nancy Puccilli, hopefully I'm saying these last names right. Richard McDonald for middle school, Katie Bellamonte for high school, and Dr. Cassandra Crittenden's the Eastpointe Roseville Chamber of Commerce Ambassador of the Year. Unfortunately, a few of my old teachers from East Detroit, or I gotta say Eastpointe Community Schools now, have been Teachers of the Year. That was exciting, but none of them this year, unfortunately. And I guess that's about all, other than I look forward to, I think, seeing some of you at MML Convention later this month and learning lots of stuff, I guess. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mayor. So I would like to start out by reminding anyone that is interested in submitting for the Arts and Cultural Diversity Commission's art show that submissions for your art are due by October 7th. You can go online and get the information off of the city's website, or you can contact me. There's flyers posted throughout the hallway here. If anyone is interested in submitting something, we are definitely looking for more pieces. Also, I want to let everyone know that we will be, for the Military Museum and the fraternal organization, ACF is hosting a Veterans Day event on November 11th at 6 p.m. at the Military Museum. So I hope everyone can come out and join us to help celebrate and recognize the sacrifices that the veterans have made for us so for our safety and for our freedom. And I think that is, one more thing. I believe that the Odd Fellows is going to be hosting a trunk or treat on October 23rd in their parking lot. And then, like the mayor mentioned earlier, there are a lot of events that we approved tonight. So hopefully you can all come out and support some of our local businesses that are hosting these events. get to know them and maybe utilize them in the future. So that's all I have this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, council. Want to just echo some of the things that our council said about the Salute to Excellence. Please come out and support, and also these events. And I want to welcome, I didn't get to welcome Ms. Underwood last time I was here, but welcome to our family and everyone else that is new to the City of Eastpointe staff. And to address some of the things that was talked about, some of the blight that was talked about, that was why we started the cleanup initiative this year. We were cleaning up the city once a year with the help of beautification, which Councilman Monaco led, and then as a city, we extended that to doing it twice a month. And we have been pushing this initiative very hard, and we have no one in the city that really comes out. And so if you want to keep our city clean, we have to do it ourselves. This is our city. It was one time, I think some administration couldn't come out, and it was me, Mr. Director of DPW, and a pastor. And it was just us three out there that day because some council members worked during the day and some were out of town and some had various other things to do. And we reached out to so many people and we continue to do it. And as the mayor, I'm doing the very best that I can, but I can't do it alone. Just as much all these people that's sitting in this room, we got every seat filled. I would like to see the DPW filled when it's time to clean our city. In addition to that, with the buildings that we talked about, blight, that this young lady talked about earlier, and so many concerns. Earlier, I believe it was this year or last year, I believe the city updated fees for those who did not keep up with their properties. So I think we increased certain fees because we wanted to attack what was going on and put these people that were business owners and keep them accountable. And that is what we did. And then in addition, not too long ago this year, we added code enforcement to the weekends because we addressed certain things that was happening on the weekends because people know that code enforcement only works during the week. And I've seen people parking their cars, this is on my street, on their grass. Because, and in order to keep this city clean, we have to do our part. If you see something wrong, let us know so we can keep the city that we know traditionally to be clean, and it's a family town. So, but we need your help. I need your help. Council needs your help. So the people up here, we just can't do it by ourselves. You elected us to do a job, but this is a big city, and we have 33,000 plus people. It'd be nice to have everybody, in this together. We're a family town. We in this together. So I said that to say, is there any other things? Oh, and Ms. Easley, earlier this year, we talked about, I think it was this year, so much that's stuff been going on this year. I believe I talked about helping our first-time entrepreneurs who have businesses with lowering the fees. And I forgot how that went, but we do have ARPA funds, and if council approves it or council looks at that ARPA funds, we can help lower those fees for first-time entrepreneurs or business owners to make sure that you use your money not on fees, but in your business. And those ARPA funds is to help not only the residents, but business owners. And you've been a resident here for years and now a new business owner, but help those, during the COVID, a lot of businesses went out, and a lot of new people that started businesses couldn't afford it. Just having a business sign can cost thousands of dollars. And so, we want to help the people that invest in the city the best way we can. And again, those ARPA funds, the young lady talked about what are we doing with those funds, and the community has input on that. So, we can give grants to our business owners. First time, if you're a first-time business owner, that is something that council has to review. A lot of cities has used ARPA funds to invest back into businesses and did a lot of other things. But if y'all want us to do that, please, I believe we did do a community outreach to see what we can do. I don't know what happened to that review of what people asked about that, but those are certain, ideas we can look over to help first-time businesses and also, people in need for help. Other cities have done it, and we can do it too. but we ask our city administration and our council to look over that. So thank you again and congratulations again for investing in the city of Eastpointe. And thank you, council, and everyone that came to the meeting tonight. If you have questions in certain areas, police department is here, our DPW is here, our city clerk is here, council and me and myself is here, and we will take time to answer any questions or concerns. Thank you so much. Council, can I get your motion for adjourn?
Support.
Thank you. Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Have a blessed night, everybody.